we're going to dig into this one today because she is out there. She's a cover girl now for Harper's Bazaar. Do we have the video of her and her stomach turning? Yeah, we have the behind the scenes video. Photo shoot for Harper's. Here, watch a little bit of this if you can. Slot 11. For the listening audience, it's her trying to look glamorous and dewy with the big eyes, the hand on her chin, the slow head turn. Oh, on the couch, on the settee, with the silk dress, staring into the camera like an ingenue, like an innocent. The hands back, things she's seen a million times before. She's not a model. She's just playing one here on TV. About 25,000 outfit changes. Trying to look like Giselle, which she's not. Oh, all right, I've had enough.
Before diving into the interview itself, it's worth remembering that celebrity magazine covers are rarely just about fashion or photography. They're carefully planned branding exercises designed to reshape public perception. Every pose, wardrobe choice, facial expression, and headline is intended to communicate a specific message. For public figures who have experienced years of intense media scrutiny, these features often become reputation management opportunities rather than ordinary interviews. The real question isn't whether the photos look glamorous, it's whether the audience believes the image being presented. In today's media landscape, authenticity is often more valuable than polished production, and viewers are quick to notice when a carefully crafted image feels disconnected from reality.
Clapping for herself. That last part was on brand. And
She's the only
she
one
sat for an interview for all of this with somebody named Caitlin Greenidge, who, as far as I can tell, is an absolute idiot. She was so dumb, it was so bad that I had to ask my team, who is this person? Now I find out, okay, for listening audience, she's a Black woman. She's features director at Harper's Bazaar. She was formerly the Hodder Fellow at Princeton University Center for the Arts, contributing writer at the New York Times. She had recent articles like November 2025, The Vibe Shift That Wasn't Reports of the Death of Woke Are Greatly Exaggerated. June 2025, The Institutions Fighting to Save Black History Under Trump. April 2025, Tina Knowles, Beyonce's mother, wrote the mother of all memoirs, November 2024. This is how you #win with Black women. And then they're talking about the women who organized the 44,000 person fundraising Zoom for Kamala Harris. Mm-hmm. There's more about how Black women mobilized on Zoom for Kamala Harris. So this is who Harper's Bazaar thought would be the right person to profile Meghan Markle. Mm-hmm. And the ridiculous exchange between these two. Here's Meghan on the cover of Harper's. I'm just going to say it. She doesn't look good. She looks sad. She's makeupless, which I'm sorry, but it's not good. She needs some eyeliner. The eyes are too close together, and she looks forlorn. I didn't actually ever realize how much work that eyeliner is doing on her. And here's just a little bit from the cover piece. A golf cart pulls up at some natural history museum thing she's going to, and the writer's there. A golf cart pulls up, the gravel crunching beneath its tires. The Duchess of Sussex, someone in the scrum announces. Meghan descends. Meghan is attuned to the girls. She asks one about her nails, another about what she's studying. When a girl mentions her love of languages, Meghan lights up. I'm learning French on Duolingo, she says proudly, adding that she just hit a 90-day streak. I don't know how any woman could see a young girl and not see herself in her, especially at that age, Meghan tells me later. Once again, Meghan Markle makes everything about herself, and then this writer gets into some of her absurdities, like the following.
Public figures often try to build relatability by sharing everyday hobbies or personal experiences. Whether it's learning a new language, raising children, or talking about personal growth, these stories are designed to make celebrities appear approachable rather than distant. The challenge comes when audiences feel that every conversation circles back to the celebrity themselves. Fairly or unfairly, that's been one of the recurring criticisms surrounding Meghan Markle over the years. Supporters argue she's simply sharing her experiences, while critics believe too many interactions become centered around her personal narrative. That difference in interpretation explains why reactions to interviews like this are often so polarized.
How do powerful women flex? Do they lead with deference or dominance? Meghan seems to lead with affability, the warmth with which she greets each of these men in the restaurant where they sat, and with which they reciprocate is genuine. With me, her interviewer, where the power balance shifts back and forth. Sorry, no, it doesn't. Even Meghan Markle is definitely out of your league, madam. She is warm and open, and she always maintains direct eye contact. It's a skill she's honed since childhood. I was such a little nerd, she says. My entire identity was wrapped up in being the smart one. There used to be this show, I'm dating myself, but do you remember Studs? After school, kids would enact a little makeshift version of Studs to play. They were like, well, Meghan can be the host, she says. I had the personality type of, I can help coordinate, I can help organize, I can facilitate. I think I'm probably the same now. The fear of failure often runs in tandem, writes this reporter, with the millennial desire to achieve. When I broach the topic and ask Meghan what she's learned from her mistakes, she deadpans, you learn not to do it again, which of course is untrue in Meghan Markle's case, Link, as you've been calling her. She's, among other things, a disaster tourist who cannot seem to stop herself from taking advantage of places where people have suffered amazing hardship and injecting her photo op right in the middle of it. That's just one point to kick us off. Where would you like to go next?
Okay. Meghan Markle always says she's known as the smart one and that her whole identity is wrapped up in being smart. We're still waiting to see that. Where's that smart identity? Like, was it smart to leave the royal family to go sell jams, jellies, dog biscuits, and wickless candles? Like, you could be royalty right now. Like, all of these celebrities that you're trying to hang out with, and you're hanging out with the Kardashians, or hanging out with people who have like sex tapes and show their vaginas on camera, you could be British royalty right now. You know what I'm saying? You could be eating crumpets and scones. Like, they just had a massive state dinner and a tiara. Look at that state dinner they had recently where President Trump sat next to Catherine and Camilla and the king and the whole delegation. You could have been there at that massive, beautiful state dinner at Windsor. You're hanging out with the Kardashians at a party, and then you don't like the way you look in the photos because you look bloated, and you allegedly asked for them to be taken down. That's who Meghan Markle is. So she says she's this smart, genius organizer. We're still waiting to see it. You did like one drop of your products. I ordered the candle. The candle came without a wick. This is not even a stunt. I literally opened it on camera. Her candle that was $64 was not lightable, okay? It was a metaphor for her career. Nothing was igniting, nothing was lighting, there was nothing on the inside. So Meghan Markle, it's actually quite pathetic to see someone fall from grace so hard.
Right.
And let this be a cautionary tale to so many of the women out there who maybe even look up to Meghan Markle, though I don't know how you would have stumbled upon this podcast. The grass is not always greener. Okay, you might think you're holding all the cards in life. You got to know what cards you have and what cards you don't. Meghan Markle overplayed her hand. She thought, I'm going to leave the royal family. They need us more than we need them. We're getting out of here. And in the Queen's dying days, they kicked up trouble. She tried to accuse them of racism. That didn't land. Even at the height of Black Lives Matter, people were like, I don't know if we're buying this whole racism story, you know, with Oprah. So every hand she tried to play failed miserably. She should have just stuck it out and been a royal, and she would be revered around the world.
History shows that walking away from a prestigious institution is never automatically viewed as either courageous or reckless. It often depends on what comes next. Whether it's politics, entertainment, sports, or even business, people generally judge bold decisions by their long-term results rather than the initial announcement. Success can transform a controversial choice into a visionary one, while setbacks often invite much harsher scrutiny. That's why discussions about Harry and Meghan continue years later. The debate isn't only about the decision itself, it's about whether the opportunities created afterward have matched the expectations that surrounded such a dramatic departure.
In no world could Harper's Bazaar ever get Kate Middleton on its cover or to sit for an interview. Like, that is so beneath actual members of the royal family.
They'd have to license it to put her on the cover.
Okay, so let's keep going because there's more. So she writes about how, of course, she always wants us to believe she's just a mom with kids at home. That's what she does. And they're at an age where they're constantly learning something new. and you can remember as they face things that are insurmountable, and say, I know it seems really hard right now, but trust me, that's going to come easily soon. I can give myself the same grace as a founder. She works it into every interview. A founder. It's amazing. Like, I mean, honestly, I'm a founder. I have my own media company.
Right.
You're a founder. You founded Spot On with Link Lauren. Most normal people don't run around referring to themselves like that because they know it makes them sound completely artificial, narcissistic, and insecure. So she says, I was a founder. Then she writes, there's no such thing, she says, that no such thing as perfect. I too get to make mistakes. Okay, she goes on and says, this is the writer for Harper's Bazaar. When I ask Meghan what she hopes her kids see when they see her working, she tells me, now most of us would say, hopefully they learn the value of hard work, right? I think that would be the first thing that would come to mind. They learn the value. No, this is her. I hope they see the value of being brave. It was like so self-aggrandizing. And then adds, they saw it when the jam was just a pot on the stove bubbling. Link, this woman is beyond. I hope they see my courage and how brave I am.
No, you know what's going to happen with these royal kids, okay? They're going to grow up. I'm sure they have like privacy controls and adult filters on the kids, you know, phones and computers. Someday, these kids, Archie and Lilibet, if they exist, they're going to go to a friend's house and they're going to Google their parents and they're going to realize, we could have been royalty this whole time. We could have been living in a palace and we're stuck in this kind of compound in Montecito with this crazy woman and her scrawny legs and her jams on the stove. I would be so pissed. Okay, if I turned 18, this is like Princess Diaries. If I turned 18 and I found out I could have been royalty the whole time and I was stuck in California with the Kardashians, I would be so upset. And I hear that there are some titles available if they would like to adopt me. The Duke of York title seems like it's available.
Yes.
I'm ready to be royal. Meghan, I love you and I'm so grateful for you. But if the royal family welcomes me in, y'all will never hear from me again. I will be over there having high tea and crumpets and scones and riding in
First, you'll give us the exclusive. Then you can dump us in the dirt.
Yes, I'll do the exclusive. But no,
right.
Meghan Markle, fall from grace. We've never seen someone thud so hard. It's crazy.
No, I saved the best part for last. I haven't even gotten to the most absurd part, and it's amazing. It's amazing. This is the only area in which I will give this absurd writer
when they go to the
Caitlin
brownstone.
Greenidge, credit.
Okay.
It's awesome that she included this detail. Okay, so now she goes to see Meghan in New York City. We're in a grand brownstone on the Upper East Side that belongs to one of Meghan's friends. So, of course, Meghan, when she comes to New York, she can't just get a room at the Plaza or the Ritz.
Like the Hyatt.
She's right. She's got to stay in a friend's brownstone because you see, Link, she's too famous. She's too famous to walk through a lobby. Unlike every other actual celebrity in the world who stay in hotels just fine, including Taylor Swift, with no problem in very many cities, much less a place like New York, which is very used to A-listers, which she is not. Okay, the writer writes as follows, quote,
Titles have always carried symbolic weight, especially within the British monarchy. For supporters of the institution, they're more than formal labels. They represent centuries of history, duty, and public service. For critics, they're often viewed as ceremonial or outdated. That explains why the continued use of royal titles by Harry and Meghan remains such a talking point. Legally and publicly, the situation is often misunderstood, but from a branding perspective, the title immediately distinguishes Meghan from virtually every other celebrity. Whether people admire that choice or question it, there's no denying it keeps the royal connection front and center in every interview and public appearance.
When I enter this brownstone, the house manager announces, Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, even though we appear to be the only other two people in the house. And that harkens back to what we read on page 1, where she said they were outside the Natural History Museum in Los Angeles to receive a local group of girls. And as the golf cart pulled up, they yelled out, the Duchess of Sussex. And she appears to have people yell this about her wherever she goes, even if there's no one else in the home, Link.
It's like Colonel Sanders is here. Like, why does she need to be announced like that? Like, the Duchess of Sussex? Who is that? Who is she? We don't have titles here. Like when she walks into Soho House, is she like the Duchess of Soho House? We don't do titles here in the United States. But I don't think she was alone in the brownstone. I think all of her other personalities were in the house with her. So maybe they have to announce Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, is here. But I've never seen someone dine out so hard on their title. I mean, she is dining out. And like, I have friends, they get divorced and they hang on to the last name because maybe the last name was better than the one they had, or they were married to a prominent guy, so they cling to that last name in society. And it's like, Meghan is clinging hard to this Duchess title. She was in the royal family for 18 months. I have stuff in my freezer that's been there 18 years. You know what I'm saying? So she's like, I was in the royal family 18 months and she's calling herself the Duchess of Sussex. She spent 5 hours in Sussex. Okay, that's
and
it.
they hate the royal family. They hate everything it stands for. Why is she running around using that title if all she wanted was, by the way, her privacy? It's weird to see you on the cover of Harper's Bazaar, giving your, we want privacy. And you hate the royal family. You think they're a bunch of racists. You think they bullied your husband. Your husband suggested they wanted him to die in his last interview with the BBC, and yet you still want to use their title? It doesn't really track. All right, keeping on here. The absurd writer talks about how when women are in the public eye and they're multi-dimensional, Link, you may not know this is the writer, they tend to get a lot of flack. Right. The press doesn't allow women to be multi-dimensional. This is so bizarre. Like, this is how you get a job at this magazine. Why do you think that is? Meghan asks me. Here, I launch into a tangent about our culture's deep and historical distrust of women's voices in public. You know what I mean? I finally say. Meghan deadpans with, well, yeah. Okay. She's been so difficult for her to get her voice out there, Link, and her $50 million Netflix deal and her Spotify deal and all the other things she's done. Okay. Then she writes, this is great too. Not about Harry, but about H, as she calls him exclusively. She puts her hand on her heart when she talks about her husband. He loves me so boldly, fully. And he also has a different perspective because he sees media that I wouldn't. No one in the world loves me more than him. So I know he's always going to make sure that he has my back. This nonsense, he loves me so boldly, so fully. Okay.
Relationships inside the public spotlight are often judged through photographs, short video clips, and isolated moments that may not tell the whole story. Observers frequently interpret body language, facial expressions, or public appearances as evidence of deeper relationship dynamics. While those interpretations generate enormous discussion online, it's important to recognize that they remain exactly that, interpretations. What is undeniable is that Harry and Meghan have consistently presented themselves as a united team. Whether audiences believe that image is entirely authentic or view it more skeptically depends largely on how they interpret the couple's broader public journey over the past several years.
Cut to the tape of him in her fake World Series celebration, Link, and him staring at Kris Jenner's boobs. I'm starting to feel like he may not love you so boldly and so fully, sister.
Yeah, no, I think his soul is leaving his body. I mean, he just looks like a shell of a man. Like, you know, that man who's just emasculated and beaten down, and they've kind of thrown in the towel and they're slouched in the big lazy boy chair. Like, that is Prince Harry to me. Okay, he's just acquiesced and he's in a prison of his own making, right? He is culpable. We always want to blame Meghan Markle, and of course I blame her too. But Prince Harry, you're a grown ass man, right? You're in charge of your choices. You allowed her to come in and take a wrecking ball to relationships with your family, to everything going on in the UK. You allowed her to drag you to the US. You didn't live in Hollywood. She wanted to go to Hollywood. So you have her in the driver's seat. You either need to man up and be an alpha and take your life back, or you're going to keep receding like that hairline.
Whether you agree with Meghan Markle, disagree with her, or fall somewhere in between, this interview demonstrates just how powerful public perception has become. In today's media environment, success isn't determined only by accomplishments. It's also shaped by credibility, consistency, and whether audiences believe the story being told. For public figures, reputation is constantly evolving. Every interview, every public appearance, and every headline becomes another piece of a much larger picture. And once trust is questioned, rebuilding it can be far more difficult than creating it in the first place. But perhaps the most fascinating part of this story is that it still isn't finished. Future projects, future interviews, and future public appearances could continue to reshape how this chapter is remembered. So here's the question: years from now, will history view Harry and Meghan's departure from royal life as a bold reinvention, or as one of the most controversial turning points in modern royal history? If you enjoy thoughtful analysis that goes beyond the headlines and explores the bigger picture behind today's biggest royal stories, subscribe and turn on notifications. There are many more conversations ahead, and some of the most revealing ones may still be yet to come.